Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Oddity Acres. Today we are in Allegheny Cemetery in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and it's absolutely beautiful here. These headstones are gorgeous. They have a beautiful mausoleum. It's massive. In fact, it's one of the oldest and largest cemeteries in Pittsburgh. And not only that, incorporated in 1844, it is the sixth oldest rural cemetery in the United States. Now, there are lots of notable people buried here. There are numerous mayors of Pittsburgh, there are congressmen, there are famous baseball players, people that were very involved in the city, very involved with politics, very involved with the United States, very prestigious people. And looking at some of these headstones and the monuments and the mausoleums that are scattered around this beautiful property, you can really tell that there was some wealth here and, as I said, a lot of prestigious individuals. Some of the oldest graves here were soldiers that fought in the French and Indian War, and their bodies were taken from the old Trinity Cathedral in downtown Pittsburgh and reinterred here on this property. So there's people that go back years and years and years and years and years. It's just, when you start reading the epitaphs, you start reading the dates on these things. I mean, it's insane to kind of go back in history and see all these individuals and wonder what their story is. Look how beautiful. And this is just a little corner of the cemetery. It's massive. Now, one of the more notable monuments here is for the victims of the 1862 arsenal explosion that happened here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're going to take you over to that location where it happened, and we're going to show you the monument and kind of go over the story a little bit here and tell you what happened. But as I said, it is one of the more notable monuments here. So on Wednesday, September 17th, 1862, there was a series of 3 explosions, and it was the biggest industrial disaster of the Civil War time. So there were 78 total people lost in the explosions, 45 of which are buried right behind me on this little hill underneath the monument. And it is an absolutely beautiful place to be buried. I'll tell you that much right now. This whole cemetery is just incredible. So we're going to kind of take you over here. We're going to show you the stone and show you what it says and pay a little respect to those lives lost.
Erected by the voluntary subscription to the memory of those who were killed by the explosion at the Allegheny Arsenal, September 17, 1862. Tread softly. This is consecrated dust. 45 pure patriotic victims lie here. A sacrifice to freedom and civil liberty, a horrid memento of the most wicked rebellion. Patriots. These are patriots' graves. Friends of humble, honest toil, these were your peers. Fervent. Affection kindled these hearts, honest industry employed these hands. Widows' and orphans' tears have watered this ground. Female beauty and manhood's vigor commingle here. Identified by man, known by him, who is the resurrection and the life, to be made known and loved again when the morning cometh.
So I am standing in the exact location that the explosions happened. Right now it is a baseball field and there's a playground park area, but back on September 17th this was the Arsenal, and on that day in 1862 it was one of the bloodiest days in American history because during the Civil War at that point the Battle of Antietam was going on at the same time that this explosion was happening. So tragedies across the United States. It's incredible to just be here and see this location. Now, this arsenal was originally built in 1814 as a critical supply chain for the U.S. Army during the Civil War, which is basically the purpose of it. We're up here in Pennsylvania. Obviously, the Battle of Gettysburg happened here. A lot of different battles all around this area, massive battles in the Civil War. So this was a very integral spot for the United States Army. Now, the arsenal is spread out around 38 acres here on this property, and they manufactured gunpowder, cartridges, harnesses, anything that was essential equipment for the United States Army during the Civil War. On that Wednesday afternoon, explosion after explosion happened. Bodies piled up and they just lay where they dropped. Buildings crumbled. All right in this area. 78 people were killed and over 150 were injured in the explosion. I mean, that's massive casualties, massive. All right here. You'd never know it's a beautiful park on a beautiful day. So much history right below your feet. I say it every time, but it's crazy. So there's a plaque here in the building that says the Allegheny Arsenal, Lawrenceville, 1814 to 1913. Designed by Benjamin J. Latrobe, built by Captain Abraham R. Woolley on the land purchased by the federal government from William B. Foster, served as an ammunition production center during the Indian, Mexican, and Civil Wars. This tablet commemorates at least 79 civilian workers, men, women, and many children killed in the three mysterious explosions on September 17, 1862. Wow. It's so crazy to walk in a piece of history and where so much stuff has happened, you know, and just to think about the tragedy and the amount of horrible things happen right here below your feet. Crazy. So another very prominent headstone here, one that is very popular among the locals, is a headstone of Lester Madden. He was a massive movie fan of a very specific franchise that you have probably heard about called Jaws. Check this out. This is awesome. This is dedication. Look at this. Black, like a doll's eyes.
Lifeless eyes, black eyes, like a doll's eyes.
We're gonna need a bigger headstone.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
That's two. Two Jaws puns. I think that's enough. This is awesome, though. Love to see stuff like that.
So as we were pulling out of the cemetery, we noticed all these really tall headstones. We pulled over and we checked them out. Here to find out, it's a bunch of reverends that are buried here. And this one actually goes as far back as he was born in 1828 and died in 1904. So it's pretty cool. A lot of old stones in this place.
It reads, "Here rest in the peace of Christ, Right Reverend Richard Phelan, 4th Bishop of Pittsburgh, born January 1st, 1828, ordained May 4th, 1854, consecrated August 2nd, 1885. For 50 years, he devoted himself to the arduous duties of pastor and bishop in this diocese and died December 20th, 1904, honored and mourned by the entire community. His faith, his zeal, his justice still speak from this grave." All right, guys, thank you so much for watching another episode of Oddity Acres. We got to explore the Allegheny Cemetery. Right now, we're in the conjoining cemetery called St. Mary's. It's beautiful. We just wanted to give it a shot and check it out and see all these beautiful headstones. This property is massive, and it has so many beautiful things. I mean, you could just drive through here or walk through here or jog, whatever you want to do all day long and find something new every turn. So I recommend, if you're ever in the Pittsburgh area, to come check this out. Come see these memorials. These are sites where historic things happened. So if you're watching this video, that's something you're interested in because you're learning from us and you're letting us take you to all the locations. So go check them out for yourself. Go out and adventure. The weather's beautiful. We're starting to get into spring. Summer will be here before you know it. And it is time to get out and explore. So until next time, thank you so much for watching another episode of Oddity Acres. Stay scared and
Happy Halloween.